morning. How are you today?
I'm progressing.
Hopefully that is good. Okay.
Yep. I love that
So,
song.
thank you.
I
I
think
do
my
too.
favorite part is "Block Me Now, Ain't No Sweat Off My Brow."
Thank you. I love that line because, we used to say that all the time, right? That ain't no
Hmm.
sweat off my brow. And,
Right.
I thought it was time to bring that back a little.
Absolutely.
I'm going through and doing sermons for all these women it has brought up so many feelings for me, like mostly anger and stuff
Hmm.
like that, right?
Yep.
Because when you just realize like how little there is for women in this book, and when there is a woman, how horribly she's treated, like it becomes overwhelming because it's just so repetitive. But every once in a while I get to one and I'm like, huh, this is something we really don't talk about. We should look at even further, right?
Hmm.
Let me see if I can find it now. Hang on, let me look on my notes here so I can find exactly where this one. I told people I should have them start guessing who the next person or woman or group of women are, because I don't think any of us would even be able to guess who the next ones are because they're so random sometimes. But right now I'm in Genesis 36, and let's see
Are you
where it
making your
is.
way straight through?
Yep, and I'm stopping at every girl or girls. So, like, if it says daughter, but it doesn't say her name, I'm still
Okay.
doing it.
Okay.
So any girl or girls, woman or women that are named or unnamed in the Bible, and doing a study on them. And in Genesis 36, what is the exact verse? Chapter 36, verse what? That they are mentioned?
I don't know the verse.
Uh, Genesis 36:39. Okay.
Okay.
This is right after Esau and Jacob had buried their father. And this is going to be the last time that Esau's genealogy is mentioned. And we're going to move on to what happens to Jacob's line with Joseph going into Egypt. Okay.
Okay.
So in verse 39, it says, Baal Hanan, son of Akbar, died, and Hadar succeeded him as king. The name of his city being Pau, I don't know, I might be pronouncing these all horribly, so please forgive me. His wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, daughter of Mezahab. Okay, so three women finish out the genealogy of the kings for Edom. And I think that we just blow by that. Okay, for having one woman mentioned in a genealogy, if you're an Israelite, is like, whoa, she must have been really special. But here at the end of these lists of kings, we have three women, like a trinity, if you will, right? And you have to wonder why. Why did the Israelites remember these three women from the Edomites? Like, there's got to be a deeper thing there, right? Like, they don't even remember their own women. And these are not their women. These are Edomites. So we're looking into that. That's the next sermon. And I'm kind of excited about that. I would never have, I probably read this and never even realized, that there were women there when I read it in the past. Like, I just went, oh, genealogy.
Yeah,
Who
I
reads?
I think I've overlooked that too.
But yeah, it's a queen and her mother and her grandmother that finish out the genealogy for Esau.
Wow. Wow.
And their names are very telling too. One's name is God does good, or God is good, all the time. All the time. God is good, right? The other's name is like golden waters. So a lot of times, they figured that meant that she was like born into wealth. And obviously she was in the royal line, so she stayed within that influence, right? And then the other one is pursued or driven out. So who was she? Was she somebody that they were afraid of? Was she formidable? Like, why was she pursued and driven out? Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. And I don't know. I just think that we've done a disservice to the women of the Bible over the years by not looking into them further and more in depth. Good morning, 3 Pips, Godwin. You guys, the guest box is open if you're friendly and you want to come up and join us today. I have the regular topics up this morning. I don't have an Auntie Sermon for you this morning. I'm working on the next one right now. It's sometimes it's hard to figure out where I'm going to go because so often it's just that their story was erased, and it's like, I can't keep telling that sermon over and over again. Oh, here's another woman whose entire story was erased, So I have to try to find a new angle each time, and that can be a little difficult to figure out. I always say, like, I want to know what she's trying to tell me, right?
Right. Do you think, in the case of those women, you might be able to find something in some other literature? Or
I do check other literature. I check the rabbinic teachings of whoever I'm looking at. I check Christian teachings and then outside texts.
Okay.
There's not a lot about these women, to be honest with you. But I think that really in this case, what we need to realize is that these three women had to be very formidable because their names are remembered, and they are remembered by the Israelites, not just their people, right? That means
Right.
something. When a group of people don't remember their own women, but take the time to write down the names of other women, there's something there. And to me, if that's your enemy, that means that, well, maybe they were a little scared of you.
Right.
Maybe you were powerful. Maybe these three women. But here's the other thing I think it's doing. In chapter 36, there's a line here where it says, let me see. I don't remember exactly where it is. Hang on, let me ask my chat GPT.
Okay.
Can you give me the verse where it says that Edom had kings before Israel? Edom. Thank you guys for all the gifts. Thank you so much. So in Genesis 36:31, it said, "These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned." Oh, bless you. Before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Now, that verse alone has been debated ad nauseum by scholars. Why are they saying that? Why are they pointing that out? And many of the scholars believe that what the Israelites are saying right then is, yes, Edom had kings and structure while Israel was still struggling as a nation. But in reality, they had human kings, and Israel had Yahweh, to lead them. And that is why they are a better and more powerful nation than Edom. Okay? So they're saying that this line of kings, this genealogy, it is to show the divide between Edom and Israel, that Edom does seem like they have it all. But if we continue this story and go watch Joseph and his people, we will see how God delivers them. and that should have been their focus all along, was everybody should have just worshipped and followed Yahweh instead of human kings. So if that's true, that that's what the purpose of that genealogy is, then it was also be likely that the reason that they end on 3 women is to point out weakness. Because remember, the Israelites are a patriarchal system. So they are probably adding that in there also as a dig. Look who is there holding it all together. 3 weak little women. But they obviously fear these women. One's name is God Does Good. They are acknowledging that God somehow blesses this woman even though she's outside their people. And then the other one is Golden Waters. She has money. She has wealth. And the last one is Pursued. You're not pursued if you're nobody, right? I don't know. I think it's very interesting. I got a new flash goal, you guys. I'm going to pop that up. Remember, I don't get pushed out to the FYP. It's just the thing about me, and I don't like to restart. It doesn't do anything for me. So please, if you can, help me hit that gift flash goal. It's just 6 ice cream cones, but it has to be 1 per person. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you so much. So if 6 different people can send me a 1 little ice cream cone, that'll help me hit the flash goal. That helps boost me out a little bit. Hey, Artie, Aaliyah, Douglas, the okay. Good to see everybody. Please share this out with your friends, your enemies, your frenemies. You know, I did friend some Christians lately. I wish it would show me my friends list in like the newest to oldest order or something so I could find these Christians easier.
Me too, because I've been friending Christians, but then when I go back, I don't know who they which
I
one's
know,
which.
I can't remember.
Unless they have the word God in their name, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't tell either. I don't remember. And then I'm like, oh. And one day, okay, so you had followed you're the reason why I started doing it, by the way, to get Christians in my life. You were following a Christian, and my mod goes, like blocked them from me or something because they were horrible or whatever. And then they were like, oh, did you know Mama Bash follows them? You should let her know that. I was like, oh, Mama Bash follols Christians like I do to get them in.
Yes, I follow Christians. So
it's
I
not
can
because
invite
we
them
love
to
them.
the party.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, don't worry, she's not turning Christian. Don't
No, don't
worry about Mama
that.
Bash.
No,
That's
don't worry.
not
I'm
what's
never
happening.
going back over there.
I think somebody thought you were ready to reconvert.
Oh,
I
no.
did see somebody's name today. I think it was in Thinkers Live when I was listening earlier. Their name is Reconstructing Christianity or whatever.
Oh
I'm
my
like, good for
gosh,
you,
that's
pumpkin.
crazy.
You go reconstruct that.
That's funny. Have you tried doing the creator content insights, going live from there?
No, I haven't done that.
That seems to work for me. It seems to get more Christians in my lives. So before I go live, I use a little hourglass to search, and I search creator content insights. And then I go to the content gap, and I look for something to do with Christians, like trusting God or something like that has like hundreds of thousands of views, and it's going up. It's like up 1,000% or something like that. And I push on the camera from there instead of just going live.
Oh.
And so then it has Christians thinking, oh, this is a live about, trusting God or whatever.
Trusting God. Reconstructing Christianity. Yeah,
But
that's
that seems to
awesome.
work. I don't know I don't know exactly how much it works, but it seems to keep me Christians in the live.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna have to try that
So
tomorrow.
try that. Yeah,
I
try
definitely will
that
try
one time
that.
and see if it gets more Christians, because at least they're passing by, because that's what they're searching for. Like, if they had a
Yeah.
title called God is Good and it's up 1,000%, that means a lot of Christians are looking for that.
I need to get a new agency too. I have an agency that a lot of people use this agency. It just hasn't worked for me.
Okay.
For I've had this agency for a few years now, and most of the time I do not get suspended a lot. I don't get a lot of things like that. But when I have, I've had to get myself unsuspended. Like, even
Oh,
when I go to them, I'm still the one doing it. And it's like, wait, but that's what you're supposed to be for. Like,
I
and
don't have an
and
agency. Do I need one?
I don't think you do. I'm gonna tell you, it hasn't helped me much.
Okay.
So I don't think you do. I think that if you get suspended all the time and stuff, yeah, you might need one. But I
Okay.
don't, and I've had. But what they're also supposed to do, and like Chicago John would tell you this and stuff, is if you're not being pushed out into the FYP, if you have regular viewership problems and you're doing everything right, they're supposed to go look into that for you, because sometimes you are being suppressed by TikTok and they're supposed to go to bat for you. In two
Oh,
years, this person has never gone to bat for me, and I'm so tired. So if I am going to have an agency, I want one that's going to say, hey, let's go actually figure out why they're suppressing you, and let's see if we can't fix that. And this person has never helped me with this. And it's like,
oh,
this has gone on for like 2 years. I'm not starting a new account. I'm not going to
yeah.
restart my live every single time, because that's ridiculous. It's every time I go live.
You know what's
And
happening,
am I
Crystal?
done?
What's happening to you is what happened to me with the God.
Yeah. Yes. Were you
I'm doing
suppressed
all
by
this
this
work,
God? That's true, right?
you
It
know?
is just like that. You're
Yes,
showing up, you're doing the work, and he's suppressing your prayers, your blessings, all
right.
of it.
He's not doing
He's like,
anything.
you're not on my For You page, Crystal.
Exactly. That's what that reminds me of.
Oh my God, that is so true. You guys, I just need 2 more ice cream cones. If you haven't sent an ice cream cone yet, if you could do it real quick, I will hit my flash goal. Again, Tahir, Godwin, anybody who wants to come up and hang out, I still have room for a friendly or two up here. Also, we're looking to talk to believers today. So if you guys want, like, do some hashtags in chat, like, what would Jesus do? Jesus loves you. Jesus loves the little children. Maybe we'll get some Christians in here. Um, yeah, so I'm working on some things for you. I'm working on a Substack. I'm working on, getting some little workbooks out for the sermons that we do and stuff, so we could start, maybe going a little deeper into, Christ is King. Good morning, Godwin. Jesus loves
Good
me. That
morning.
is awesome. So I am working
Morning,
on some
Mama
things
Bash.
in the
Good
future.
morning.
Oh, thank you so much for Heart Me's. Thank you so much for helping me reach my gift goal. I really appreciate it. I wanted to see who. I can't, like, it doesn't let me see. Goodness. I want to go talk to the developers of the TikTok app and TikTok Studio and sit down with them and tell them things that they're doing wrong for us. Not that they
Right.
want my input, but there are so many things they could improve for us.
That Christians don't believe in miracles. Bash has
Yeah,
been Bash has been doing this live, where he says that God can only do what the Christian can imagine. And
it's
they get
true.
so angry when he says that. And he was like, no, really. The only thing that God can do is what you can imagine in your mind. Anything that you need to bring into reality, your God can't do. So then they set out to prove him wrong, right? So he said, suppose there was a person sitting here with us now, and you asked them, if they believed in their heart and they confessed Jesus, would they be saved? And then, of course, the Christian says, yeah. And then he says, And then the Christian says, yeah, because the Bible says, if you confess with your mouth, believe in your heart, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, okay, well, what about if they need healing? And then they start making all kinds of excuses. Well, it's got to be in God's will. And then, you got to do this. And he was like, well, there's a scripture that says, if you ask anything in my name, I would do it. Yeah, but it's got to be this. And then they start making all kinds of excuses because they can't manifest in reality any miracles. They can only get miracles either post hoc rationalizing, or it has to be in their mind.
Like really plausible miracles.
Yeah.
Like very mundane, average, everyday stuff. That's it.
Right. And they have to wait until after it happens. Like they can't predict it. They can't say, I'm going to pray for you and God's going to grow your leg back. It has to be.
No, they can't do that.
Amputees, for some reason, get ignored.
Totally.
Mama Bash, I've wanted to say to you, I can't stay on long, Crystal, thanks. But I wanted to say to Mama Bash, it's one of those things where you say, you did well by your son. But I would say the same thing to your son. Like, you did well by your mom.
Oh,
like, you guys are great.
Thank you so much. I love that kid. He's so wonderful.
You guys are great. Thanks for having me up, Crystal. I'm just going to silently be on here and just enjoy the show.
Okay, God.
You're awesome.
Thanks for coming
Crystal.
up. Mama Bash Pink's new song. Oh my God.
Oh,
I cry every time.
He hasn't even finished that song yet, but it's going to be so good.
It is really good. I like how he takes me to church even though I'm not a Christian.
Yes.
Yes. He has a way to do that. Oh man, he's going to take me to church.
Mm-hmm. If you go to one of his concerts, you're going to church when you get there. I guess he's the only one He's the only one I would allow to take me to church, even though I'm not Christian. Otherwise, I would be like, nah, get this out of here. I don't want to do this. He has a way. If you go to Pinkbeard's page, I guess the song's not finished yet, but you will see some clips of him singing it. So check out Pinkbeard, Pynkbeard. And I should be saying some hellos to everybody over on YouTube. Is the sound better today over on YouTube? If not, I don't know.
He has a way.
Sorry, let me turn this down. You will now going to be charged $19.99 for this live stream. Thank you for your educated video. What? I don't know what that is. Good morning, Curtis. Good morning. It's over on the YouTubes. Let me know if the sound is okay over on my YouTube because I've been having issues with that lately. And let's see if there's anybody over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube this morning. There is. Good morning, Bert. You guys, I am working on a way to upgrade my equipment. This is actually, we're not going to be doing this anymore. Instead, I have ways that you guys can support the show. The link is in my bio for the link tree. And in there's a thing called Throne, and Throne gives you several ways you can support the show, from, buying just a little cup of coffee to helping me upgrade my computer equipment. So go check that out if you get a chance. Let's see. Love me or go to hell is not really a choice. No, it's not. All he's offering me is an eternity with him, which is another kind of hell for me. It's true, that's true. Like if the other option was just a nice place with no God, that would be a choice. But pew pew to your head isn't a choice. I agree. You're right. I didn't choose hell. I chose the land of milk and honey in the sky where the unicorns roam free. I don't even know if I would want that for an eternity, but I wouldn't mind that for 100 years, living with unicorns and stuff like that. I don't know. But eternity, I have ADHD. I can't stand doing anything for 10 minutes, let alone an eternity.
I can't even wrap my mind around an eternity. It's crazy.
Me neither. Somebody said, what exactly is hell to you? Hell is the eternal separation between you and God. It is a place where God's love and grace are absent. If you reject God logically, you'll end up there. That's all. God cannot force you to be with him. It's still like, that's still horrible. That's like saying, look, all I'm going to do with my children is I'm going to separate one from me forever. They can never see me or talk to me again. And that's not really that bad. It is. That's horrible. What are you talking about? Quit trying to soften it.
Yeah,
it is evil for this God to make somebody exactly how they are, put a pew-pew to their head and say, if you don't do what I want you to do, you will be eternally separated from me. That is still not good. I don't know why you guys don't see that. That doesn't make it better. Yeah, and that's what Laura, it goes on to say. I'm just reading YouTube to you now. I love, let's see, Laura says, but love me or be eternally tormented. Oof, that's a choice from fear, not love. That's right, it is. Let's see. Oh, well, I don't want the love of a hellish, wrathful being. Last time I had that kind of love in my life, I was, yeah, exactly, shabused. Yep, I agree with you, Inquisitor. Jealous. I knew what you meant. You meant jealous. Loris, yeah, okay. Crystal, the Bible says that God is jealous, wrathful God, while also saying those qualities aren't love. So why would we want that love anyway? I agree. Why would I want that love? You cannot sit here and tell me that love is not jealous and my name is jealous. Tell me to worship you. That's just crazy. I'm not going to do that. Love is not jealous, but I am love and I am also jealous. Doesn't make sense. They said, what is the whole saying? Ever heard of free will? Have you ever heard of coercion? Because coercion takes away your free will. As a matter of fact, it is something that is held up in court, okay? If you sign a contract under duress, you can go to court and the court will nullify the contract. How do I know this, you might ask? Because I've done it before. Because there was a time when my ex-husband did something to make me sign something under duress. So I signed that paper to do what I needed to do. And then I took him to court and I proved to a judge that I was forced to sign that paper under duress. And it was reversed. Because it's not fair, it's not just to give somebody an option that seems horrible and say, you either do what I want or this horrible thing is going to happen to you. That's called duress and it's coercion and it's not free will and it's not loving. That's where you guys mix things up there, you know? And I think you guys don't know what free will is either. Like, that's a thing. I don't think I think they think picking between a latte and a macchiato or something is free will. Those are just choices you make throughout your day. It's not free will. Free will is to be able to make a choice without necessity or fate. You know, you can't just make up that free will is choosing between, you know, steak and potatoes or whatever. I don't know, whatever you're choosing from. So, and then they're saying in the YouTube chat, why can't you guys even agree what hell is? True. Why don't you guys agree what hell is? You guys don't agree on anything, and then you want us to believe the story. You cannot even get the story straight.
So true.
So do we have any Christians in the comments? Are they like scared to come up today? I saw one come in and say that they wouldn't come up because I don't waste my time on silliness. And yet here you are scrolling TikTok. Lie to us some more, okay? Okay. Who made color? What are you talking about? Who made color? What? The comments are so weird sometimes. What if I told you color didn't exist? What would you do then, Dylan? What if I just told you it's the way the cones in your eyes see light reflected back to you? That your argument
Crystal,
for
you have no
atheism
grounding.
is who made
No
color?
grounding for color.
Atheism has no grounding for color. That's hilarious.
No, Dylan, I would say that means that you don't understand science, and I might. I don't understand all of it, but I know enough that color comes from cones in our eyes. I also know that we don't even have like our eyes cannot see in a high dynamic range, and if they could, we would even see more than we see right now. Like this perfect world isn't as perfect as people think it is, because our eyes could see so much more. Yeah, Inquisitor Bacon 8170. Apparently color needs grounding. Dylan, why don't you come up and talk? We have 3 topics today, and there is one you might like. It's called I'm an Atheist, question for question. You can come up and ask me a question. I'll answer honestly, or Godwin or Mama Bash can answer. And then one of us will ask you just one question, and we'll let you answer. And let's answer all the way and answer honestly. And we won't interrupt you. We won't debate you. We just want to hear what you think. So come on up. I put this little video up. I don't know if you guys saw it, of Bad Bunny. And it's all times of him going, hey, 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 like that. I said, this is how I feel. I feel like I'm fishing for Christians sometimes.
I know. Fishing for Christians.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Okay. All right. I'm going to play a song. I've got a request over on the YouTubes for consent.
Oh, yeah.
So let's play consent this morning while we wait. But good morning, Rabbi. If you want to come up, guest box is open. Dylan, you're more than welcome. I'm going to send you an invite to come up. But, you know, I don't know why you want to sit down there and chat when we could just talk.
C-O-N-S-E-N-T. Consent is not an option to me. Consent. Respect the boundaries. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. No praying. No praying. No touch, don't speak to me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. You love your neighbor, but you better ask first. You prey on trauma with that holy thirst. You'll catch these hands if you lay hands on me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T. Hey, if you don't get a yes, you'll never have consent. I submit, bitch, don't get it then. Nobody ain't a toy, dude, don't even play it without consent. Keep your filthy hands away. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. No praying, no praying, no touch, don't speak to C-O-N-S-E-N-T. C-O-N-S-E-N-T. No praying. No praying. No touch, don't speak to me without my fucking C-O-N-S-E-N-T.
Trouble. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Rav. Welcome to the live. I have questions for you, sir. Are you ready to be grilled on the Torah?
I'm ready. I am seasoned and ready to be grilled. Yeah.
My next sermon is on 3 women that are mentioned in Genesis chapter 36. Okay. So, you know I'm going to butcher the names. Just prepare yourself for that already, sir. Just make a mental preparation for that.
I'm here. I'm reading along.
That's
with
okay.
You. Yeah.
Cyber Scribe, what we're doing is talking to Christians. We're having conversations. We actually have one called I'm an Atheist, question for question. And that's where you can come up. You ask us a question. We answer honestly. And then we ask you a question. Let you answer fully and honestly without debating you. I don't know how I can be any more fair than that, to hear people and hear their side of things. If you don't want to learn from other people, then just sit there and whine and cry about it in the comments. But we're trying to have adult conversations while you're doing nothing but complaining and crying. So there you go. Okay, Rab, here it is. It says, Baal Hanan, son of Akbar, died, and Hadar succeeded him as king. The name of his city being Pa'u. His wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, daughter of Mezahab. Okay, I know I butchered all.
Sorry, can you just give me the verse? Do you mind just giving me the verse?
Yeah, absolutely. It's chapter 31 of Genesis, verse 39.
Sorry, 31?
Verse 39.
I thought it was
chapter 36. It's chapter 36. Did I say something else? I'm sorry. Yeah, chapter 36. Chapter 36, verse 39. I'm so sorry, Ralph. The reason you don't debate atheists is because you have nothing, Cyber. We know. You don't have an argument. You have no good debate skills. You couldn't debate yourself out of a paper bag. But on top of it, we're not having debates. We're actually having conversations. And the fact that you can't understand that tells me you don't understand words. Okay, go ahead, Rab.
Okay, so I'm looking at the names. Are you asking like what the names mean, or is there any?
No, I'm asking you why. Why are they there? Why are there 3 women named at the end of the genealogy of Esau? 3 women with distinct names when Israelites barely mentioned their own women. And here we have 3. That's good, Julie, and I appreciate that. But if you want to come up and actually have a conversation, the guest box is open, and we love to talk, because one of the best ways you can learn from each other is actually listening to each other, having a conversation. Again, Cyber, not a debate, but the fact that you can't get past that is the reason why you don't like to talk to people, because you don't understand words. Clearly, I've said several times, it's not a debate, it's a conversation. I will ask you a question, let you speak fully, hear you completely out. That's not what debates are, sir. It's not a debate, but the fact that you keep saying that tells me that you're thick-headed and probably too low IQ for the conversation anyway. I don't think you could handle a real conversation. No, it's not. If I'm not arguing with you, I'm just listening to you. How is that a debate, sir? I'm going to let you tell me anything you have to say, and I'm not going to argue with you about it. Then I'm going to let you ask me a question, and I'm going to answer that question. That's not a debate. It's called a conversation. Are you okay? I'm talking to Cyber Scribe 13. They don't understand how conversations work.
So, first of all, I don't know, but I'll say that the rabbis have a reason listed, so that it obviously it refers to the names. So the first name is like God.
The first name is God does good.
Yeah, or favored by God, and then the second one is like progress or like forward or something like that. And then the last one is like Goldwater.
I looked it up and they were like pursued or driven out even.
I'm getting like pushed forward. I don't know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
And then my
And then the last one's Golden Water.
Yeah, Goldwater. Goldwasser. Which feels weird. Anyway, so the rabbis say that this is to teach that this king was only interested in sort of pursuing riches. And so that these women are listed to demonstrate his sort of to teach what his goals were, and that the last one being that he was so rich that that gold had the same value as water to him, basically.
That's
I don't know if that's a convincing midrash, but that's what it says.
Yeah, it's not convincing to me. Bye, Godwin. Good to have you as always. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's not convincing to me, but because if we think like about this logistically, these women would have been named before he ever like meets them. So, you know, that's one thing, right? Like,
unless he renamed them, he's like, I've come this far, I might as well rename.
Right. Right. But that's just me. But I do think that I think there's a lot of reasons why they would end on three women in a genealogy that's not about the Israelites. And that's what we're going to look into on my next sermon, is why they would do that when they barely remember their own women. You know, that's kind of interesting. Hey, Christina the Godless, you guys. Christina the Godless is in here from Girls Gone Godless. If you haven't been listening to the podcast, you should, because I'm on it and I'm funny and stuff. And you can learn about Bells Bargo and Craig. You can find out who Craig is. Fuck Craig, by the way. Yeah, so we've had Christians, but none that want to come up this morning. I can change the background. We can see if that will get somebody in here. I don't know. Let's try this one. Maybe somebody will help me understand God's love and mercy. Because right now, I don't really see it. I don't see his love or his mercy, frankly. He really likes in the Bible than I do. Not a lot of mercy going around for other people, though. let's go back over to the YouTubers and see what they're talking about now, because that has been entertaining this morning. They are talking up a storm over there this morning. Once again, the Bible is a collection of books containing stories, parables, narratives, poems, analogies, theological content, and historical facts. It was written by numerous authors across different cultures and eras. Yeah. So what's the point of that? What does that tell us? What's your point in telling us something like, I felt like that was kind of Captain Obvious right there. I don't know. I kind of knew that. Did anybody not know that? Was somebody confused about that? I'm just reading through to see what I don't understand where their argument is going. You guys, thank you for being here. Welcome in. Let's go ahead and play another song while we're waiting for guests, but let's get some guests in here. You know, if you're one of my mods and a Christian comes in and they start arguing, go ahead and pop them up, okay? See if they'll come up. I'm going to play another song for you here. My latest. We're going to do a music video on this one. I'm trying to get it out.
I want to dismantle the patriarchy, and I'm feeling Hey ladies, what's on the menu tonight? I want to dismantle the patriarchy, and I'm feeling cuntified. Line up the shots, spark up a blunt. Every lady here is serving cunt. Not an ounce of testosterone inside. Got full confidence in my stride. No cunt, stand for the noise you make. No consideration left to take. You had the mic for centuries. Now watch us cunts practice mutiny. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. It's our manifesto. Serving cunt. Boom, being cuntified. Men are whores while we take the mic. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. It's our manifesto.
I'm going to pause the music just because we got somebody up. Hey, Ben, welcome to the show. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I'm 25.
All right. And are you a believer of the God of the Bible?
I'm not. Am I supposed to be for this? Do I need to? I can't decide if this is a. Oh, it's a deconstruction.
We're talking today.
No, right.
Yeah, we're talking to believers, and I want them to kind of help me understand God's love and mercy.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, yeah, it is a tough one. Christine, all you guys need to record your parts. I haven't received any from you ladies. You guys need to record something and send it to me.
Okay, well, sorry to interrupt your thing.
That's okay. That's all right. But thanks for coming up. I appreciate you. Have a good day.
See ya.
Every lady here is serving cunt. We playing no reverse and flipping the script, taking back control like an icon. I'm bitch. No consent for the noise you bring. No consideration for fragile kings. You had the power, had everything. Now mama says it's time to cut the string. We're serving cunt. It's the damn dress code. Serving cunt. It's our manifesto. Serving cunt. Boom, being cuntified.
too, Mama Batch, of you laughing. I need a video of you laughing so I can put it at the end. I was going to tell you guys something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome in, Joshua, Aaliyah, Buddy. Good to see you guys. We're just waiting for Christians to come up. We're trying some different topics. I don't know. It's been just really hard to get the Christians to come up lately and talk to us. They want to talk and chat. You know what? I heard on Thinkers Live, I think it was. I don't remember because I'll watch Thinker like on several lives, so I can't remember if it's on her own live or not. But she was talking to a guy, and he was saying something like, maybe it was Zenema's live, I don't remember. Anyway, he was saying something about the Bible was saying that in the future, like, kids and women will, like, run the, like, will be in charge, and because of it, everything will be bad. And it's proof that women can't, like, be leaders and stuff. And it's like, what are you talking about? Where are women in charge? Like, what is he talking about? Where is this shift that women are suddenly in charge? Because last I checked, we still have male leadership in most, if not, like in most governments, city, county, state. There are very few women leaders in the overall scheme of things, So I don't really know where he's getting this, that women and children are running things and they're running it into the ground. Where are these women and children that are running things? It's crazy how many men have so much hatred for women, instilled into them so early. And they don't consider it hatred because they're like, no, but I love my mom and I love my sister and I love my grandma. I just don't want them to be in charge of anything. I just don't want them to be able to vote. I just don't want them to decide whether they need a abortion or not. I want to tell them that they don't, and that they should raise that child whether they want children or not.
I have a bit of a hot take that I think this whole abortion debate, and people think that it should be a states' right sort of thing versus a federal issue, and maybe that's true. Maybe it should be. In fact, if it's a states' right issue, maybe it should be county by county deciding this idea. In fact, if it's county by county, why not make it sort of city by city sort of deal? And if it's city by city, why not just make it homeowners association by homeowners association? If it's HOA by HOA, why not make it each individual household that gets to decide? In fact, if it's each individual household that gets to decide, why not just leave it to the fucking person with the uterus and their doctor?
Right? And why don't we just leave all medical decisions between the person and their doctor? Like, wouldn't that be crazy if we didn't have insurance to call into to say, oh, actually, she's on the operating table right now. We're actually not going to cover that. Like, that is happening to people right now. They're being denied health care while they're there. Because we allow people who know nothing about the medical industry to make medical decisions for us. And that includes all you men who think that abortions are not medical procedures. A 17-year-old girl died.
Every single pregnancy is an inherent risk to the life of the pregnant person.
Of course.
And so if it is a risk of life, to me, it is abundantly clear that the person should have access to choose whether or not how they go forward.
We have the highest mortality rate for pregnant women of any first world country. I mean, people need to let that sink in. You're supposed to, what are we great at? Great at being last? Is that what we're great at? Because we're last in everything now. And you guys keep taking us further back. Not you. Not you two. I'm not talking to you two. You guys who keep voting for this shit. You are taking us back. You're right. Barfing toaster. You are right. And I never thought I would say that sentence. You are right, barfing toaster. But you are. Who knew that I would ever utter those words? I'm okay. Given the principle, you guys, what are you arguing about over on YouTube? Somebody give me the lowdown. Like, where are we at over here on the YouTube arguments? I see, like,
what are they talking about?
I see. I don't know. We're gonna start with Laura. Okay, I'm gonna tell. Okay, so Laura says to Sensi, writing a series of poems in ancient times before the printing press was invented, instead of writing a clear instruction manual and giving everyone a copy as one example. I don't know what that means, so we're gonna keep going. Inquisitor says to Sensi, a being that deceives others, either directly or by sending deceitful people. Oh, that's true. God does that. He's very deceitful. That's a true story. Hey, Mac Lester, good to see you. Bert says to Sensei, sure, I'm happy to ask him, but he's pretty busy. Lots of people need help finding their car keys and such. They do. There's a lot of people who are needing, to find their car keys.
Was that directed towards me?
No, they're talking to each other. This is all talking to each other. Hi, Godwin.
I've talked about it before, but a couple months ago, I left my car keys in the refrigerator. I couldn't find them, and I had left them in the refrigerator. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And that's on ADHD.
That is funny.
And you found it?
Yes.
I found it because I wanted to get a soda water. I'm thirsty looking for my keys.
But God made you thirsty.
What is your perfect toasting level?
Sorry.
That's okay. What's your perfect toasting level?
What's that mean? What toasting level?
You said. Oh no, it's not you. It's Barfing Toaster said that. I'm sorry, that was you.
I often get
He said
confused with Barfing Toaster.
I know. You guys kind of look alike.
Same name almost.
Almost, right? So close. No, it was the picture, like the little icon with the yellow. And I'm just old, okay? I'm just old. Okay, let's see. So we're going to continue on down and keep going through this conversation. Where are we at? Where did I leave off? The car keys. Where is it, you guys? Anyway, we'll go on.
My fridge.
Laura, what do you mean? The Bible is not just poem. It's more than that. Poem help to understand a deeper truth. Inquisitor, Sensei says to Inquisitor, and where does God acts that way? And then Bert says to Sensei, I believe Jesus could help you with your grammar and spelling challenges. Just ask and you shall receive. And then Laura says to Sensei, let's run a thought experiment together that goes over what I mean. So hypothetically, I'm God, right? I'm all good, all powerful, and my goal is to get the most humans to heave. I don't think that's what they meant. So, that would be cool if God's goal was to heave a bunch of...
That kind of heave?
Okay. Then Laura says, then Sensei says to Bert, I thought Jesus was too busy, and yeah, it's hard when you speak 3 languages and English is not your native one. It is. When you speak different languages, it's really hard to convert and switch between languages. So I am going to have to agree with you there. Yeah, that's difficult. Sensei says to Laura, yes, I don't know what the yes is. So Laura says to Sensei, okay, I as God am all powerful. I can do whatever I want to accomplish those goals. So I'm sitting here thinking about how I want to accomplish those goals. And then Bert says to Sensei, you know, you're right. Jesus is too busy. Your ESL problem will just have to wait. Sorry. Then Laura says to Sensei, I'm also all-knowing, so I know all of what will happen in the future and exactly how my actions will be interpreted and seen by humans in the present and future. I know all of it. Then Laura says to Sensei, still with me? And then Sensei says, define all powerful. I feel like you might have the wrong definition because it's always like that, right? Like these are very simple words, right? All means everything, encompassing everything, okay? Powerful means that you have some kind of strength. You have some kind of, let's see, what was another adjective for power?
Ability.
I think ability, strength, ability, right? So if you have all strength, ability, then you are all powerful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are not hard words.
Jenny.
Quit fucking around. When you guys do that, it's so disingenuous. Okay? Bert says to Sensei, you know, you're right. Oh, no, let's see. Let's see. Where did you say? Oh, so Inquisitor says, laugh my ass off. My client's mom leaves her car keys in the fridge so she can find them when she grabs her drink before leaving. Bert, there's your tip. Do it on purpose from now on. Laura says to Sensei, basically full and total control over earth, omnipresent, omni-knowing. These are usually traits Christians ascribe to God, right? Do you ascribe them to God? Then Bert says to Laura and Sensei, here, I can help. All powerful refers to universe grade God magic. I kind of like this Bert guy over there. Bert Russell, 4711. I like the cut of your jib. Sensei says to Laura, yes, but I'm asking you to define the word omnipotent equals all powerful. You're just giving me traits. You're being disingenuous. You really are. The more you argue about what all powerful means, the more you are just showing your true colors. It's a very weak argument. Bert says, it's the highest grade in the universe. See, I like this Bert guy. Bert, you're funny. Laura says to Sensei, people still have free will, but because I'm all-knowing, I know everything about them, so I can also do things that influence what they believe and do. Not force, but influence. Laura says to Sensei, the definition is having complete power. Basically, anything you imagine, God can do it. Laura says to Sensei, omnipotent, having unlimited power, able to do anything. Sensei says, according to your understanding of omnipotent, can God create a rock so heavy that he can't lift? And the Inquisitor says, I don't think Sensei liked my answer to where does God act that way? I don't think so either, just between you and me. You guys, if you're bored with me reading the YouTube chat, get your ass up here and come talk to me. Help me understand God's love and mercy, because I really don't understand it. I don't understand. There's things like people telling me that God was merciful to David by sparing him after what he did with Bathsheba and to her husband, Uriah the Hittite. And I don't find that to be loving or merciful. I found it to be protecting his chosen person while harming several other people in the process. I don't either. I agree with you. God is fictional. I agree, you guys. But if there is somebody out there who can help me understand his love and mercy, come on up. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep so powerful that he doesn't ever do anything ever. The God of taking credit for everything that he doesn't actually do. I agree, Captain. He's really good, and he's good at it because the believers give him the credit all the time. That's why my original topic said I don't think Christians believe in miracles. I don't think they do. I think that they attribute everyday events to the God and call them miracles. We have talked to Christians who say, You got up this morning. That's a miracle. No, it's not. It's called, our bodies have a rhythm to them. This is evolutionary. Like, what are you talking about? You have breath in you. Yes, that's how lungs work. None of this is miraculous. We actually know the reason why these things happen. You guys take ordinary things like looking for your car keys for an hour, eventually finding them, and then call that a miracle because you prayed about it during that hour. What are you talking about? That's not miraculous. The other day, I had to look for my wallet. I could not find it anywhere. And my house is not a clean house. I have ADHD, depression. The people I live with also suffer from these same things. So it's not a clean house. But I'm one of those people that my specific spaces are cleaned and organized, just not my whole house. So like my desk is very organized. I know where everything is, my certain areas like that are very organized for me. And I couldn't find my wallet. And I was like, there's only like 2 places I ever put that. And it's not in either of these places. And so I used what is called deductive reasoning and not God. Okay. And I thought, where are the places I normally put it? Where did I have it last? What was I doing when I had it last? And what could have possibly happened to make it move from a normal spot? Like, oh, I have cats. Maybe one of my cats knocked it from its usual spot, and it had knocked it so that it fell into this like little file holder that I have that I would have never looked in. But God didn't show me that. Critical thinking and deductive reasoning did, y'all. And I probably spent less time looking for it because I used those skills rather than sitting around praying. I'm just saying. I love you, Bert. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Come back tomorrow for Bible study, okay? Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time for Bible study. Angel Jimenez now wants to know, how did he lie? God lies a lot, actually, in the Bible. You do know that, right? It's just a fact, actually. He uses deception. He has no problem with deception. He actually rewards it. So God is a God of deception. For people to think that he's not is wild to me. Marva, are you okay? Are you angry about something? What? To believe is to not know. You dwell in ignorance. What are you talking about? Do you think I'm a believer? Dude, I'm not a believer. You're getting mad at the wrong person. I'm asking Christians to come up and talk to me about God's love and mercy, but I am not a believer. You are mad at the wrong person. You should come into a room and read the room before you start spewing stuff. You make all of us non-believers look bad when you do that. Bye, Godwin. Thanks for coming up again. Good to see you. Come back if you want. Angel Jimenez wants to know 5 things God lied about. I will look them up. Do you guys want to put them in the chat and then I will read them out? Because there's so many, right? I can tell you that Jesus lied once when he said he was not going to go to a festival, and then he went to the festival in disguise. Then Jesus lied and said, anything you ask in my name, I will give it to you so that the Father may be glorified through the Son. That's just not true. That doesn't happen. God told Nebuchadnezzar that if he conquered, went to war for him or whatever, he would give him all the spoils from Tyre. But in reality, they had moved all their wealth and hid it. And so he couldn't give it to them. So he had to, given something else because he lied about that. That's 3. Anybody want to give me 2 more? Jordan, the guest box is open. Feel free to come on up. Oh yeah, and God told Adam and Eve on the day that they eat of the fruit, they shall surely die. That's 4. We just need 1 more, y'all. Anybody got 1 more lie out there that Yahweh told? Because he sure does tell them. He says that he is the God of love. He says that love is not jealous. And then he says his name is jealous. So there's a lie in there. There's definitely a lie in there somewhere. I'm just saying, you guys, these are lies. There was 5. There was 5 for you. Yeah, he told someone to murder their son, and then he said, psych! Just kidding, don't do it. Jordan, I don't know why you don't just come on up. I'll invite you. Hey, Steph, good to see you. Oh, Jesus said no one has ascended to heaven except for the one who has come down from heaven, but Elijah had ascended into heaven. That was another lie. You are right, Steph. Good point. And God, he doesn't just deceive. He causes people to deceive. So let's look up some of those verses if we can. Can you give me the full verses for the places where God causes people to deceive? Like, for instance, he talks about with his prophets that if a prophet deceives you, it is God who has deceived you. Also, there's another time where he sends deceiving spirits. Now, this is a topic that Thinker's been running. If you follow Thinker, and if you don't, I don't know what you're doing. You should. N growth. N as in Nancy, GROWTH is Thinker here on the TikTok app and Thinker everywhere. She's been talking about how God is the God of deception. And he is. I don't know how you can see it any other way. So let's go to Ezekiel 14:9. Ezekiel 14:9. I'm really bad about remembering where books in the Bible are now that I'm not a Christian. It's like I don't care. It's really weird. It's like I really don't care. 14:9. Let's get our highlighters out. Let's make sure we mark this up for another great spot where God does something amazing. If a prophet is deceived and speaks a word, I, the Lord, have deceived that prophet. And I will stretch out my hand against him and will destroy him from the midst of my people. So if a prophet deceives you, who's really deceiving you? And it's weird to me that he's going to destroy the prophet even though he's the one using him to deceive you. You know? Jordan, your stupid things you're saying in chat, they don't mean anything to me. If you don't have balls enough to get up here and talk to me, it shows me that you are weak, your faith is weak, and your God is weak. I'm sorry. You have no faith in your God because you're so afraid to come up here and talk that you're just sitting down and chat yapping. And that tells me you don't believe that your God would give you the power and the fortitude to even speak. How weak of a God can that be? Sounds very weak to me. I guess if we go back to 8, it says more. I will set my face against them. I will make them a sign and a byword and cut them off from the midst of my people. And you shall know that I am your Lord. If a prophet is deceived and speaks a word, I, the Lord, have deceived the prophet. And I will stretch out my hand against him. We will put a little thing in here. Now we're going to go to 1 Kings 22:19, okay? 1 Kings, and I got to find that because like I said, I don't have these books memorized anymore. 1 Kings, page 384 for you following along in a different Bible. Okay, 1 Kings 384. All right, let's get our highlighters out. We're going to start at 19, okay? He has sacrificed oxen, fatted cattle, and sheep in abundance, and has invited all the children of the king, the priests, Abiathar, and Joab, the commander of the army. But your servant Solomon he has not invited. But you, my lord, the king, the eyes of Israel are on you to tell them who shall sit on the throne of my lord the king after him. Otherwise, it will come to pass when my lord the king sleeps with the ancestors that my son Solomon and I will be counted offenders. Where am I reading? This is 1 Kings. Oh, no, I'm in the wrong chapter. Sorry, guys. 1 Kings 22. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about. 22. Okay, I'm sorry. 22, 19 through 23. Ah, there we go. Then Micaiah said, therefore, hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne with all his hosts of heaven standing beside him to the right and to the left of him. And the Lord said, who will entice Ahab so that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? Then one said one thing and another said another, until a spirit came forward and stood before the Lord, saying, I will entice him. How? The Lord asked him. He replied, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. Then the Lord said, you are to entice him, and you shall succeed. Go out and do it. So you see, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these your prophets. The Lord has decreed disaster for you. So again, who did this? Who's the God of deception? Yahweh. Yahweh is the God of deception. He's telling you over and over again, if he wants to deceive you, he will. I don't worship deceivers. That's just me. But it's not over yet. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians, another book that I have no idea where it's at. I know it's in the New Testament. But where? Let's go look. 2 Thessalonians 17:83 in my Bible. And we want to go to 2 Thessalonians 2. Oh, look, I already have it highlighted. 2:11 and 12. Let a woman learn in silence with full submission. I permit no woman to teach or to have authority over man. She is to keep silent. That can't be it. 2. Oh, that's Timothy. I want 2 Thessalonians, not Timothy. Oh, that's funny. Have that one highlighted too. Okay. I'm sorry. Keep turning to the wrong pages. Here we go. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion, leading them to believe what is false, so that all who have not believed the truth, but took pleasure in unrighteousness will be condemned. God is a God of deception. You can live in a fantasy world and think that he's not, but I've just shown you over and over again that in his own words, he is telling you that he is. Okay, Jerry, you have no proof for what you're saying either. You might not believe in the Christian God, but believing that God is all of nature, including us humans, just changes what the word God means. I don't understand why people do that. And that's why I'm an atheist. That's exactly why I'm an atheist. Because, with an I, by the way, Igtheist. Because you guys can't even decide what a God is. Yeah, that's what he did. God made them believe a lie and then condemned them for it. So now, what are we saying over there in YouTube land? You wanted to know where God was a liar. I showed you where God was a liar. What do you got to say now? Hey, godless engineer, good to see you. Welcome in, welcome in. What say you now? Huh? Sensei is listening to me, but Sensei's got nothing to say back to me because what can you say? You just asked me to prove where God has lied, and I showed you 5 different times God lied, and then 3 different verses where he himself said that he sent deception out, or that he caused deception through his own spirits. So I don't know why people dismiss the words of their God. Like they get mad at us like we said it. You know? I'm just reading what your God said. It's just in your holy book. I didn't come up with it. I'm just telling you what he's telling you. Yes, it is cognitive dissonance. I should play Joel's song, Cognitive Dissonance, now. Find me the song by Joel Reed's Bible called Cognitive Dissonance. No, it's their holy book, Jerry. I'm not talking about any other holy book. I'm speaking to they asked for very specific times where God, their God, was a liar. No, he doesn't. Jesus does not love you as you are. First of all, he doesn't love everybody. He came for the lost sheep of Israel. Paul told you he came for you, and you believed Paul. But Jesus never said that. Jesus didn't even come for you. Run away. That's Joel Reed's Bible from his album Christianese. I know, me too. I love all of his songs. I end up singing that every time. Me too. Well, I'm an atheist, Jerry. I believe that we haven't even been able to define a God. People just make up their own definition for what a God is and what a God can or cannot do. And so since we can't really define a God, I don't see any reason to believe in any God. Like, there's just not really a clear definition. That's who I am. And I can change the background back if you guys want to where we could do question for question. I am an atheist or an atheist. And so I do have this up. It's I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question. If you want to come up and talk, you can. I ask you a question. You ask me a question. We let each other finish speaking. We don't argue. We just talk. I used to think I had spiritual experiences and mystical experiences until I really evaluated them and used critical thinking. And like, I tell this story a lot. When I was a young girl, I used to go to camp. In the Methodist Church, we appropriated something from other cultures called an ashram. And John Wesley had found out that there were people, and I believe they may have been Buddhist or Hindu, who would go away for a weekend to spiritually revive themselves, to spend time in meditation, thought, and prayer, and things like that. And he really liked that idea, and so he brought it into the Methodist Church. And so instead of calling like your thing like church camp, we called it ashram. And so we would go to ashram every summer and spend a week up in the mountains in California and just spend a whole week devoting our life and time to, to Jesus and to God and everything. And when I was up there one year, this guy broke his leg. And everybody laid hands on this man. And I watched his bones just snap back into place. It was so wild. I was young. I was probably like 15 or something like that when this happened. And I was so convinced that the power, the healing power of Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit and prayer, I could not believe what I had seen. It was just incredible. Now, the guy was still sore afterwards. His leg was still swollen and bruised, and he still needed ice packs, and he had to have a crutch to walk around. But his leg wasn't broken, and that was miraculous to me. Then flash forward a couple decades later, and I'm a youth pastor interim at a church. And I am playing with a bunch of the kids on the monkey bars. And I slip off of the monkey bars. And as I fall and hit the ground, I see it in front of my own eyes. My knee dislocates. And I fall to the ground and immediately go. I am in so much pain that I go straight into the fetal position because I am in so much pain. And eventually, like, the kids are like, "Oh no, what can we do? What can we do?" And I'm like, "Go get my husband. He's at the church." And the church was almost connected to this little park, so it was like right there. They could. The park was public property, but it looked connected to the church. That's how close they were. Go get my husband. Go get my husband. And while I'm on the ground crying and in the fetal position, I feel it snap back into place. And the next few days, my leg was still bruised and swollen, and it would be that experience that would make me realize that that person's leg was never broken. We never did x-rays on that person. Nobody was a medical professional there. Their leg they had a dislocated knee like I did. And it probably snapped back in because that's what happens when you dislocate joints. It's a very natural phenomenon. I have never, ever in my life seen or had anybody show me something that was truly miraculous, something that science cannot explain. They say it, They'll say, oh, my aunt was healed from cancers and the doctors could not explain it. Listen, my daughter-in-law is a doctor and she's going to tell you something that you guys might not want to know. But most doctors specialize in something and they don't know shit about everything else, okay? So like if it's an eye doctor, oops, sorry, my books are falling over. If it's an eye doctor, they're not going to know shit about feet, okay? So so they don't know everything about everything, even in their own field. Advances are made daily in these fields, and doctors can only they're busy practicing, they're busy healing people, so they don't have time to constantly be upgrading their knowledge. They do try, they really do. It's a lot of work for a doctor to keep staying up on the latest medical technology and advancements, right? So just because a doctor says, we don't know why you suddenly, had remission, doesn't mean that it wasn't like a natural reason. They just don't know what the natural reason is. And they don't have time to sit there and figure it out. You're in remission. They've got another patient who is not in remission. They need to get on to that patient. Telling you we don't know doesn't mean miracle. That's not what that means. That's right. That's right. Jereb, Sunny, Forever Art, good to see you guys. Welcome in. I'd love to get somebody up here to talk to. I don't know. Just, I've been talking a lot. I really need to get a phone number or something for YouTube so I could start having conversations with the people over on YouTube. I think it's funny when Christians think that what non-Christians want from God is like millions of dollars. That's now the thing. Sensei says, Lord, dude, stop. You're too funny. I want God to give me 5 million. Otherwise, I can't believe in him. Most people aren't praying for millions of dollars. Most people are praying to make ends meet. Most people are praying for their loved one to come back to them after ICE has kidnapped them. Most people are praying about, passing their final. Most people are praying for good health. Most people are praying just to be happy today and not want to curl up in the fetal position in their bed. That's what most people are praying for. And your God can't do any of that. Your God has not done any of that. You know who fixes those problems? Are people. And when we stop relying on a God that does nothing and start relying on each other and start getting up off our asses and doing the things that need to be done, we are better as a society. We are better as a community. Sensei muted me. So Sensei didn't like that I did defend the position. So they muted me over on YouTube. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. I don't believe in God, Jerry. I don't believe in God at all. I don't know what gave you that impression. But again, if you want to have the conversation, the guest box is open. I'm an atheist. Let's go question for question. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Secret Messiah, welcome in. Welcome in. Oren, welcome in. Ashra, welcome in. Good to see everybody. The guest box is open. If you are friendly, want to come up and talk, have something on your mind. Hey, have you been listening to my Auntie Sermons? The second episode dropped last night at 12:01 a.m. So the second episode of Auntie Sermons is available everywhere but Apple right now, but I think I'll be fixing that today. So we should be getting those episodes up on Apple and iTunes. I had a little problem logging into my old Apple account, so I had to get that fixed. So make sure you check out Auntie Sermons. And if you do get a chance, go by and give me, a 5-star rating, if you will. Those ratings really do help. Oh, okay. Thanks, Oren. Well, I'm glad you stopped in. I really appreciate you. Really, really appreciate you. So if you have questions about my Auntie Sermons, want to argue with me about my stance, want to tell me I'm wrong on my theology on it, I get that a lot when I'm when I'm writing them. I get arguments from my own friends and family about them, okay? When I said, I'm going to tell you one. When I said in one of my sermons that an all-knowing God who allowed his people to continue to write genealogies based on men instead of based on women shows me that this God is not all-knowing, because now we know that mitochondrial DNA is the most accurate way that we can trace genealogy right now, right? I have men in my family, and I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to tell you who, but I have men in my family who have said to me, now we can trace genealogy through men. We cannot accurately trace genealogy through men. I am sorry, that's just not true. I mean, you can say it on birth certificates and stuff, but we don't know it's true until we check the DNA, and that's mitochondrial DNA, and that comes from the mamas. So you got some pushback for me on my sermons? Come on up. Also, I'm gonna really lean into the whole auntie theme, and so I'm probably gonna start doing some content where you can ask your auntie. I might even do a background for that. Born again atheist. I'm inviting you up because I haven't seen you in a while. If you want to come up, you're probably busy. You might be like, just waking up, having coffee or eating lunch or something. But if you want to come up, you're invited. I love Boma. But yeah, so if you guys want to ask me questions about the Bible, about relationships, about being a mom, about secular parenting, anything like that, I'm your auntie, and you can come ask me, and I will answer your questions to the best of my loving ability. I am your auntie. I'm Auntie Crystal now, and we're going to lean into the whole auntie theme. They are still arguing. Let's start with Bert. Bert says to Sensei, unfortunately for people in third world countries, God only help those of us in America. I guess we're special. God, I love this, Bert. I love Bert. Bert, I hope you're following me. I know you're on the Deconstruction Junction, but I am CrystalJae on YouTube. Follow me in my channel too, because I'm trying to build that up. Okay, then Inquisitor says, Sensei, Exodus 34:14 says, God's name is jealous. 1 Corinthians 13:4 says, love isn't jealous or envious. Genesis 2:17 has God tell Adam and Eve, if they eat the fruit, they'll die that day. Sensei, so Inquisitor says, Sensei, is that good enough for you for now? Then Bert says, you hurt Sensei's feelings. And that's wrong. Did I hurt Sensei's feelings? Who hurt Sensei's feelings? Was it me? Because I think that's funny. Not gonna lie. My eyes look extremely blue today. I don't know why. They look really blue to me today. Does that mean something? Are my eyes like mood rings? Does that mean something? Am I in a mood? Then Laura says, Bert, I think I made their brain break a little bit. Then Sensei says to Inquisitor, Exodus 13:14, this is not human jealousy born of insecurity, but divine zeal for an exclusive covenant relationship. See, here we did it again. Sensei loves to change the definition of words. That's what Christians do. Jealous doesn't mean jealous for God, because it means he's just really protective, okay? It's not the same thing, because because he's God. So words are totally different and they don't have the same value. Even though we translated them into our language so that we could understand them, they're not the same thing because God, no. Okay? That's my argument as a Christian. What do you think? What do you think? Then Bert said, let's see. Then Inquisitor says, Sensei, Inquisitor, I love you. I love you. Inquisitor Bacon 8170 says, Sensei, jealousy is jealousy. And then Bert says, Bert is Bert Russell 4711, by the way, over on YouTube, says to Laura Wears Hats. Okay, that's who we're talking to. Holy act of God, just as I was about to respond to you, we had a power outage, so I moved to my phone. Needless to say, I gotta go. Oh, Bert, I hope you get your power back on really fast. I'll be doing some atheisms for you. Born again, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you're listening. I can't get a mod to come up and talk to me to save my life. So you're just going to be hearing me ramble for a while. And you might hear some of my music because I don't have an Auntie Sermon today. So you're just going to be rambling for a while here. Then Inquisitor says Sensei. Sensei is, by the way, Sensei Tsar, Tsar, GT is their name, okay? And anyway, since I'm in no covenant with that God, I guess it has no reason to be jealous in my case. You know, I feel that way too. Here's the thing, okay? I wasn't even invited to the covenant. God specifically told the men to leave the woman and not bring them to Mount Sinai. And he actually said, don't even touch them. Don't touch them. So if I'm not invited to the covenant, then I didn't sign the goddamn contract and I am not beholden to the covenant. If you want to be a woman oppressed by this God, if you want to let these men tell you that this is what their God said, bitch, before these men came along, we were worshiping the Queen of Heaven and everything was fine. And then these motherfuckers went up to Mount Sinai and made some covenant with a God we didn't even know about at the time. Like, he wasn't our God. Like, what the fuck? And then these men came back and said, God said that, yeah, we're in charge of you. Yeah, that's what he said. Now, yeah, that's the ticket. That's the ticket. And you all fell for it. I'm not beholden to that God, and I'm not beholden to the covenant. Now listen, all of you who leave me right now to go watch Joel, you could at least tell Joel to tell the Christians when they get done with him to come over here and argue with me, okay? You could do that. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's see. Then Sensei says to Inquisitor, in Genesis 2:17, most interpretations state that death is not simply immediate physical death. Oh, that's wrong. Now they're just lying. And so if you guys are over on YouTube, here's the argument back to that. First of all, it says moot, okay? It is death. And also, we know that it's not a spiritual death because we're going to go into... Oh, I want to say it's James. See, I remember some things. Just not everything. Is it James? Oh, gotta look it up real quick. Always have to do this. What's the Bible verse that says that faith without works is dead, just like the body without the spirit is dead? It is James. James 2:26. Let's highlight that so I have it for future reference. And 2:17. Let's look. For just as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. So what happens if the spirit dies, class? What happens to the body if the spirit dies, everybody? Yes. If the spirit dies, the body dies. So therefore, they couldn't have just died spiritually on that day, because they would have died physically too. So God was talking about actual death. That Jewish people didn't believe in a spiritual death. That's a Christian post hoc rationalization of the text. So let's see. Inquisitor says, laugh out loud, God is seriously bad at being protective in my life. Yeah, he is. Sensei says to Inquisitor, you're making an equivocation fallacy for Exodus 13:14. And Inquisitor says, can you prove that? And then Champion Wizard came in and said, harlot. And I think that was me. I think I'm the harlot. Am I the harlot, you guys? I want to be the harlot. Then Sensei says to Inquisitor, Thomas Aquinas in Summa Theologica, according to him, the death of the soul, loss of grace, occurs on the same day. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about Thomas Aquinas. Okay, first of all, Thomas Aquinas was a piece of shit human being. I'm not going to listen to anything Thomas Aquinas had to say, or any of your church fathers for that matter, because they didn't even agree with each other. But first of all, as I already pointed out, Thomas Aquinas was wrong, because in James, if you die spiritually, you're dead physically too. So he was just wrong. But let's talk about Thomas Aquinas, shall we? Thomas Aquinas believed that women were just men who were deformed. Think about that for a minute. That's what he thought. He thought women were deformed men. He also believed that hell was a place of eternal torment that was created as a form of entertainment for people in heaven to look down and watch. That's fucking sadistic as fuck. So if you take your advice from a man who thinks that women are deformed and who thinks that torturing people for an eternity would be entertaining, then you've got no fucking morals and you've got nothing to stand on. Okay, so then Inquisitor Bacon says to Sensei, what soul? Then Sensei Czar says to Inquisitor, the soul of Adam and Eve. The Inquisitor Baker says, but what's a soul? And then Sensei says to Inquisitor, in my opinion, that would be the essence of a person, immaterial. These are just such weak arguments, really. Then Sensei says to Inquisitor Bacon, what? Dude, you're making an internal critique. You have to grant me my worldview. Otherwise, your argument make no sense. No, we don't. You guys don't know what an internal critique is. It does not mean we have to grant you everything about your worldview. An internal critique is looking at the text, internal critiquing the text. And if the text contradicts itself or contradicts your fucking belief, we don't have to grant you shit. It's nonsensical, illogical, and absolutely absurd. Ridiculous. If you think that an internal critique means we have to accept that everything you say is right, that is wild. I think I know why my eyes are so blue today. I just realized I think I know why. I tried a new product. I really did. I had been using, and I was going to do, I hate to tell you guys what it is because it's a product that I have to do an honest atheist review on because I'm contractually obligated to do so. But I also don't really like the company because of a Matt Rife controversy, if you guys will remember. So you know who it is now that I've said that. But I have used a new foundation. And I think the color is a little warmer and it's making my eyes bluer. Hey, Robin, welcome to the show.
Hi, Auntie. Thank you for having me. And your eyes do look bluer. I was thinking to myself, oh, Crystal's probably up on her iron.
I think it's from using this tinted, foundation that I got. Lost, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm over 18.
Okay, and are you a believer of the God of the Bible?
I'm agnostic.
Oh, okay. So what did you want to talk about today?
Would you mind just moving your head down for 1 second so I can see the prompts a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. So why should women be... Okay, cool. So why do you think women in particular should be not be Christian? Just because like the Bible values women as lesser?
For many reasons. Of course, obviously, yes, God does, value women much less. Like he actually just hates women. He doesn't like women at all. And the Bible is obviously written by men who did not value women. But there are other things, like, for instance, as I was saying earlier, when the men went to Mount Sinai, women were told to stay away. So if I'm not even invited to the largest, most pivotal covenant in the history of this religion, why the fuck should I worship that God, right? And then there's verses in Numbers 30 that tell me that even my vow to this God can be dismissed by a man. So if my vows to the God are not even my own, why would I worship him? And so let me read that for you real quick. It says...
what was the verse again, just so I can pull it up too?
Yeah, it's Numbers 30, starting at verse 3, okay? Yeah. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll summarize this. The first part's going to talk about the dad. The second part that I'm not going to read is going to basically say the same thing, but it's her husband, okay? Right. So I'm not going to bore you with it because it says the same thing. But we'll start with verse 3. When a woman makes a vow to the Lord or binds herself by a pledge while within her father's house in her youth, and her father hears of her vow or her pledge by which she has bound herself and says nothing to her, then all her vows shall stand, and any pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand. But if her father expresses disapproval to her at the time that he hears of it, no vow of hers and no pledge by which she has bound herself shall stand, and the Lord will forgive her because her father had expressed to her his disapproval. So my words don't mean shit to him. My vow doesn't mean anything to him. The only time anybody is ever told to be burned alive it's women. There's no men that are ordered to be burned alive for any heinous thing they ever do. It's just one thing after another. He hates women, and he shows you throughout the whole text that he hates women.
All right, cool. So I will absolutely grant that it's very, very, very obvious that the God of the Bible hates women. My question would be, if it's going to be the case that the God of the Bible could possibly exist, and that person believed that the God of the Bible did exist, despite knowing the fact that God of the Bible did hate women, would it still be irrational for that person to not believe in the God of the Bible?
I think you could believe in the God of the Bible. I wouldn't worship him.
Can you explain it to me? Because if I knew that like an omniscient, omnipotent, omnibenevolent God existed, even if and I knew he had those attributes, it would stand to reason that God is doing the right thing, despite the fact that I don't understand why what he's doing is correct.
I don't believe that might makes right. I don't believe in that theory at all.
Right, but omnibenevolence is like being all good, right? And it's not just that might make.
But he's not all good. You can't say something is all good and then show actions that are not good. If you are all good, your actions will be all good. To say that there is ever a reason to rape another human being is absolutely insane. And this Bible has this God telling people to do just that. And so for you to say, but he might have a really good reason that we just don't know about. No, there's never a good reason. To kill babies just because they're your enemies, there's never a good reason to do that. And so I would not worship this God. And this God would know that. If this God were real, and he was exactly who he says he is in this book, and he has treated women exactly the way he says he is in this book, he would know that any worship I gave him was fake. He would know that I did not love him. I could not fool him.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a fair philosophical question, but I would add one thing, and that's that most Christians would appeal to something called divine command theory, which would indicate that an action is moral simply because God says that that action is moral, which would be the basis of their moral system.
Divine command theory is might makes right. He's powerful, so he has to be right, and I don't subscribe to that. I don't believe that. And I think that's what causes people to follow leaders like Trump and Putin and Netanyahu. They're like, they're powerful, so I have to follow him. So I have to do what he says.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that it has directly to do with the fact that they're powerful. I mean, I think it's the fact that this God exists, and I know this God exists, and this God says this, therefore this thing is true.
Yeah, but first of all, like, there's so many contradictions, inaccuracies, and anachronisms within this scripture that there's no way this God is true. But if he were true, again, like I said, he's going to know right away, like, hey, yo, Crystal is worshiping only because I'm forcing her to. And then that negates the whole free will, right? Like, so there's so many problems.
Yeah, I mean, I can bring up a whole lot about issues with the triomny God thing myself, but it's certainly very interesting. I think it's a reasonable question to ask. Though,
bye, Mama Bash.
If that God did demonstrably exist, what opinions would you have, or what would you do differently? I think it's a fair question. Now, I suppose I can go over one of the things that makes me disbelieve in God, but if you want to move on to a Christian, that's totally fine.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I think it stands to reason that if a God is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnibenevolent, that God can do anything, right? If we take omnipotent to mean that God can do anything, I think I want to say it's Luke that says, for God can do all things. It might be someone else, but for anything is possible with God, I think is the verse. But that would lead me to believe that God can do anything. Now the question is God actually able to do all things? Is God limited by what is logically and metaphysically possible? Aquinas would say so. Aquinas would say that God can't do things like create a square circle. God can't do things like violate his attributes, like doing an evil thing or ceasing to be God. So I think there's so many discrepancies within the Christian narrative, especially when it comes to God's attributes.
That's just special pleading for God. When you say God can do anything within his okay, here's the problem. Giving God all the omnis is illogical. God cannot be all those things and the world exists the way it does today. It's not logically possible. And so to say oh man, I lost my train of thought there for a minute.
But that's the evidential problem of evil. Like, if God has these attributes, how can the world be the way that it is? It doesn't make sense.
Because you said, like, if God, like Thomas Aquinas says that God is like omnipotent and he can do all things within his character, okay? Then so am I. I'm omnipotent. I can do all things within my character and capabilities. That doesn't make me omnipotent, and it doesn't make God omnipotent. Either you can do all things or you cannot. You cannot take an omni word and then limit it. That makes it no longer omni.
Yeah, I think the way the Bible defines omni, that's kind of the final point of argument, is that basically the Bible very, very clearly defines it. If you look at the translation in Hebrew of that verse, it very, very clearly indicates that he's referring to a God that can actually do anything. So Aquinas' interpretation is void in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Aquinas is not my favorite person. I don't know if you heard me talking about him a minute ago. He was actually kind of an idiot. Oh, so Aquinas thought that women were deformed men, and that's just a problem in and of itself right there. And he also believed that hell was a place for eternal torment that was a form of entertainment for people who were in heaven to watch for an eternity. So he was kind of a sadistic fuck too. That's what I think anyway.
It's certainly possible. I mean, again, people can be evil when they can also be right, but at the same time, I don't think he was correct.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Robin, could you do a commercial for me real quick?
Sure, no problem. Hello, everybody. I don't know if you are familiar with your atheist sister Crystal's funding issue right now. You see, right now we're trying to gather enough coins so that we can buy her a bookmark. She seems to be constantly losing her place whenever she's flipping through scriptures. So if you would please uh, send some nickels and dimes, some ones and zeros through the TikTok, that would be excellent. Um, I hope that you're all having a wonderful day, unless you're a Christian. In that case, I hope that you're having the day that you deserve. Um, as my middle school announcements teachers and principal would have said, make it a great day or not, the choice is yours. I tried my best to fill the void, Crystal.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So Inquisitor Bacon says, so Thomas Aquinas was a complete moron. In my opinion, yes, he is. Okay, I'll tell you why I even know those facts about him. Every time we were talking to Christians for a while, they kept bringing up the church fathers. The church fathers. Well, you go scripture, sola scriptura. I go by the church fathers. And so jokingly, like we were in like Bad Bible Debates Discord or something. And I said, that's it. I'm sick of this. I'm putting a hit out on the church fathers. Somebody go dig up some dirt on them for me real quick. And we did. And we dug up Thomas Aquinas, but we found out that all of the church fathers have dirt on them. They're just like, they were not good people, you guys. These are the people who started things like the Spanish Inquisition. I'm not saying he did personally, but I'm just saying, like, these were not good people. And what I also found, and I think maybe Mezzo or Joel said this. I don't remember who said this. Oh, no, I think it was Justin, actually. He said, what you do when they bring up the church fathers is tell them, oh, really? What did the church fathers say on this verse? And like you can bring up something specific. They don't know. They only know little certain things that they like, and that's what they sit with. They don't really know what the church fathers thought or what they argued about or who, agreed with them or whatever. They don't really know the history of the church fathers. And so, yeah, so we went in and dug up a little dirt on good old Thomas Aquinas, just so we'd have something in our arsenal. Then Inquisitor says, Crystal, if we go by the text, would pro-life people be wrong as life doesn't begin until their God breathes life into the newborn? I agree. I believe that. Yes, I really do. Life begins at first breath, and there is no monetary value on a newborn. Let me tell you when monetary value begins. In the Bible, there's monetary value placed on each human based on the shekel in the temple. But when does the value on a life begin? Because it's not for newborns. What age of children do they first get a value? It's in Leviticus 27, 1-7. Yahweh spoke to Moses saying, speak to the children of Israel and tell them, when a man makes a special vow, the person shall be for Yahweh by your valuation. Your valuation shall be of the male from 20 years old even to 60 years old. And let's see, I want to go down. But here's where it goes. If it is from 5 years old, even to 20 years old, then your valuation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. See, we're always valued less. If it is from a month old, even to 5 years old, then your valuation shall be for the male 5 shekels of silver. And for the female, your valuation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And that's it. There is none for a newborn baby. God didn't give a fuck about newborn babies, okay? He did not care about babies before they were born, and he didn't care about them when they were under a month old. They had no value.
And if I may, Crystal, really fast, I don't like it when people try to appeal to the church fathers. And my major two reasons for that are one, you're doing an appeal to authority fallacy. You're saying, well, these
Mm-hmm.
people from ancient times, it's also an appeal to ancient fallacy. So it's two different fallacies at the same time.
Yeah.
You're doing two different fallacies at the same time because you're saying that this person from long ago was smarter than me and morally superior to me in every way. So I'm not going to think for myself. I'm going to turn towards this old unalived white guy, and I'm gonna just go based on what this person says. And then the other problem I have with it is if you're not going based off the scripture, you have nothing. So the people who criticize the sola scriptura, I'm like, well, where do you think all of these harmful, problematic ideas come from? At least stick to your book. Like,
Yeah.
you need to pick a lane. You can't appeal to these old guys because it's fallacious. And on a whole other level, it's also idolatrous. But I don't want to get into that because the Catholics and the EOs will be like, oh, no, it's not idolatry. It most certainly is.
I know.
I mean, the issue with some church fathers is they might have, if you look at Tom Aquinas, he's most famous for his 5 ways, which were basically 5 different arguments to support the proposition that a necessary being could possibly exist. And I suppose you could potentially say that you're a Christian and you support Aquinas because you take, say, the argument for motion or the argument from intelligent design to be compelling argument or compelling evidence for God. Now, the issue is Aquinas himself didn't actually argue for the God of Christianity. He argued for a necessary being who may or may not have created the universe. So for all intents and purposes, he argued for a magical flying unicorn who farted out the universe.
Right. And the problem too, Lost, is that most Christians who do lean to the church fathers don't even realize that Thomas Aquinas' strongest points were actually philosophical and not based on scripture at all. They don't even understand the philosophical arguments behind what Thomas Aquinas had to say. They only know that they want somebody they want to have something extra in their pocket because they know we're going to take them to the scriptures. And they're like, I need to avoid the scriptures because I know that's problematic. So they try to pull Thomas Aquinas out of their arsenal without really fully understanding who he was or what he thought.
Well, if you know anything about philosophy, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. You can go ahead.
I was just going to say, and really fast, a big problem with that is all of these ideas originate from presupposition, and it's just people building on presupposition ideas with no evidence to substantiate their claims. So the logic falls apart when you try to go to the root origin of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you understand a little bit about formal logic, which would be the system that Aquinas would employ to give philosophical evidence for God, a lot of his actual writings, if you happen to read them, are considered to be formally invalid. In which I mean that the premises, which are like the propositions that are included within the argument or assertions, don't actually follow. And that did lead to a conclusion. And the premises, not to mention they aren't true, but by definition, a lot of them would be like everything that begins to exist as a cause is a very popular one that has been refuted by science pretty substantially.
Hey, DC, I just invited you up because I thought you might want to hang out for a little bit.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I invited Redheaded too, but she might be busy. But yeah, I'm going to be live for about 40 more minutes unless we meet our gift goal, which, if we do, great. If we don't, great. Also, I do want to remind everybody, if you want to support the show, there's new ways to support the show. But we're going to do away with the little counter here. And I have a way for you guys to contribute directly to the computer that I need. It's actually going to be more expensive than I thought. So there is a computer on my throne, and my throne is listed in my link tree. And there's many ways you can support the show there. The podcast, Auntie Sermons, the music that I write. So if you want to help support the show, you can do so in the link tree in my bio. Also, you guys, I have a merch store now with a bunch of iconic merch. So if you like my music and you like iconic things, you can check out my merch store. And I ordered myself an iconic shirt, and it's gonna be here soon, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to show you guys. I do have merch. I have merch, Born Again Atheist. I have the cutest Abelina ballerina stuff you have ever seen. It is so cute. If a woman wants to date or plan on marrying a guy, she needs to know the Bible at least.
Oh,
why? What?
And what good is that going to do her? What good is that going to do her?
Why does she need to know when you... Oh, maybe so that we know what red flags to look for? That could be. Like, if I know the Bible, then I'm probably going to be able to recognize those red flags faster, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll be able to notice them.
An actual benefit? Okay.
Okay, that's what... Okay, all right. I agree with that. Yeah, Ashura says she needs to know the Bible is shitty at least. Yes, I agree. Did we stop talking over on the YouTube? What happened? Did you guys stop? Did everybody get mad at each other and stop talking? Another day God makes another L for atheism? Ha! Okay, whatever. You muted me because you couldn't handle the facts I was spitting out. You literally muted me and decided to just argue with the people in chat because you could not handle it. I would call that a W for atheism. I would call that a W. I got
Crystal and all her W's.
Yeah. And then Champion Wizard is just calling me a heart. Well, first he called me a Harlow because he forgot to put a T on the end of his word, and then he called me a harlot again. W harlots. Woo!
I gotta say, I'm
which is wild to me
than you are.
I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm seeing how you're presenting right now, and you look and sound and act just like someone's auntie. So how are they arriving at that conclusion?
It's crazy.
I was just gonna say, I'm way more of a harlot than you are, Crystal. You're all good.
I'm such a nice lady, you all. It says so in my bio. I don't know why you would think I'm a harlot. Is my lip gloss a little too pink for you today? I don't even have that much makeup on today. I didn't even do eyeshadow today, okay? You're a temptress with your blue eyes.
I like how you toned down the makeup and now you're getting called a harlot. Like, what's going on?
Right? You can never make these people happy, I'm telling you. Now I need to maybe write a song called Harlot. My next song is Angry Atheist, and I am working on it. It's the glasses, Kyle. My glasses make me look like a harlot. I just can't see anything when I take them off. I cannot see a damn thing. So I have to wear these in order to see y'all. Thank you. Okay, you guys, I have to tell you, I'm going to have, it's an e.l.f. product, and I don't like to, because e.l.f. But I'm under contract that I'll have to do an atheist review, and so I'm just telling you, it's the Halo Glow Skin Tint, and it really did make my skin kind of glow today, and my eyes look bluer. And that's the only thing I did different. And that's all I did. I used this product. And normally I use this product, which was just too porcelain white on my skin. So I went up to medium natural on this. And it just made my eyes look blue, or my skin look a little more glowy, if you will. a little more moisturized.
So glowy.
Hey, Charlene. Hi, Charlene. Welcome in.
What's up, Rasul?
Russell told me he would come up one day and do a Q for Q with me, but he hasn't done it since then. I invited him. I told him, we'll just go Q for Q, no arguing, no debating, because he was on Thrills Live, and it seemed like he really genuinely wanted to start understanding people, right? Like he was coming across as like he really wants to understand the hate and vitriol that a lot of us show towards each other. And I thought, that's kind of where I'm at too. I want us to have more conversations. Obviously, if you're a bigot, I'm going to not be able to tolerate you for more than 10 seconds. That's just who I am. I can't do it. But if you're trying to have a genuine conversation and understand who I am, and I want to try to understand you too. So maybe somewhere in the middle, we can find each other's humanity, if you will. And then promptly after that, within days, okay, he is in a live where Daniel Green, the nicest fucking human being on this app is, and he is saying the shittiest things in the comments about Daniel.
Oh, buddy, come on.
That's sad.
I mean, well,
and I'm like,
Rasul actually even told me that we're way nicer than Christians are. So, I mean, I don't want to talk about private conversations. Yeah.
You know, I thought he was like coming around. No, go ahead, Robin.
I was going to say, I don't know about nicer per se, but a lot of their niceness isn't authentic. They are fake to your face, and they will smile through their teeth, and they will think judgmental, nasty, negative thoughts, but the words coming out of their mouth will seem positive. We may not, on the surface, some people may not say we're as nice, but we're more genuine. We are more kind. Our kindness is authentic to us.
Yeah, the way they say fuck you is bless your heart.
Yes.
Well, that's just fuck you in Christianese.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's just Christianese for fuck you.
Right, exactly, Ashra. At least if I'm bitchy, it's not fake. And if I'm nice to you, it's not fake either, okay? Like, I'm just me being me, okay? And you know, I'm going to call you out. Are you really a Christian Forever Heart Gifts? Why don't you just come up and talk to me? Oh, when they say, okay, never mind, you're not a Christian. I was like, you're not a Christian, are you? No, they do go, I'll pray for you, which is also fuck you. Yeah, it's true. They're not going to pray for you. They are not going to do that. That's not going to happen. Okay, I lost my mind for a minute forever. I lost my mind for a minute. Thought she was Christian for just a minute. I just, sorry. Lost my mind for a minute.
It does get confusing sometimes.
So, it really does. So also, you guys, I want to build up my Discord. Y'all don't join it. You don't talk in it. You don't do anything over there in it. But I want to have my Discord grow. So one of the things I'm going to do is I have to go figure it all out because I don't know shit about shit. And every time I tell myself I'm going to do something, that means I have to learn something new, okay? I am going to figure out how to hook up my Switch too so that I can play Mario Party on Discord. And we're going to have an evening where we all meet over in my Discord. And anybody who wants to play Mario Party with me that has a Switch too can join me and we can play Mario Party together. So,
I gotta get a Switch now.
Mario Kart. I also have a Switch 1 if we have to do that, but because like I already saved all the games over to the Switch 2 now, I prefer to use the Switch 2 so I won't have to do a lot of setup. But if somebody's like, I only have Switch 1 and I want to play, I would do that too. But I want to start playing some games every now and then. I'd love it if there's a dungeon master out there that wants to do a one-shot every once in a while with me over on my Discord. I'd love to do some... You know what would be really fun is there's a dungeon master who could help us do a fantasy biblical era.
That would be
Dungeons and Dragons. It would be just so fun. Okay, Jenny, well, let me know because if it's like if you are like, hey, I want to play, then we'll make that up. Oh, Mech Jack. Okay, I'm gonna hit up Mech Jack. I am hitting up Mech Jack because I have dice. Okay, I want to tell you something. When my daughter-in-law and her fiance moved in, they gave me for Christmas a whole campaign, meaning that they were going to run a campaign for me, and it has never happened, and now I want one. So
Easter D&D.
We just need to do it. So I want to do that. I want to play some Dungeons and Dragons. I want to play some Mario Party, maybe some Mario Kart, and hang out a little bit in my Discord. I will be offering some new features in my Discord. We're going to look into these sermons a little deeper. We're going to go into the text a little more. So we're going to do some stuff like that. Okay. Wait, which one's Fortnite? Like, I get some of them mixed up. Which one's Fortnite? What is it? Like, tell me one of the characters in Fortnite.
It's like the thing where you float down. They float down with like the flying thing, and then you build like makeshift buildings, like protect you, and then people could pew it down. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay. Okay, now I know. What's the one where y'all act as a team and you go in and you have to do certain things, like maybe make sure the vehicle moves a certain distance or what? I can't think of what that one's called. Everybody plays that too.
I'm not a gamer.
Okay, who's a gamer? What am I talking about?
I like Minecraft.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I used to play World of Warcraft.
I was going to say, you guys could biblically role play in Minecraft. I'm just joking with you.
Yeah, we could do that. We could build Jericho in Jerusalem and stuff in Minecraft.
You could build Sodom and Gomorrah.
I love Animal Crossing and I love Stardew Valley. I do play Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. And actually, if you guys join my Discord and you want me to friend you, we could start like a Nintendo Switch channel in there, and then I can friend you and we can be friends on Animal Crossing and anything else you guys want to be friends on. I'm a gamer. I just haven't gamed much lately. Okay, but I do like gaming. All my kids are gamers. I was the cool mom. I don't know if any of you had a cool mom. But most of the time, if you're a kid and your mom is considered the cool mom, you actually don't like that. Like, my kids did not like it that their friends thought I was the cool mom. They did not like that at all. Now, it wasn't the house where everybody hung out at. That wasn't me. I was a cool mom in my rules. Like, we didn't have a strict bedtime. We had a bedtime, but, I wasn't like gonna get all upset and scream and yell at you because you weren't in bed exactly at 8 o'clock or whatever. I didn't do that. But I was also the mom that if you were playing a video game and I said, hey, it's time for dinner, and you said, can I finish this level? I would say, yeah, of course. Like, I don't want you to lose every... and my kids' friends were like, what the fuck do you mean she let you finish your level? Like, my mom will turn off the game while I'm playing it. And I would never, ever do that to my kids. I would have been like, no, what are you doing? They work so hard on that all day. Why would you do that to them? So, yeah, so my kids grew up gaming, and we have always played games together.
Because my parents would not do that to me. They would have been turned that off immediately.
Oh, no. I was like, because I was a gamer. So I was like, I know what it's like to work really hard on a level. And if you just quit in the middle, a lot of times you just lose everything you've done. It's just ridiculous. Now, I would tell that, like, if it was one of those ones where, like, you just keep dying, I mean, I would just be like, all right, but, if you die a third time, just pause the game or something, and then turn off the TV and come on up and eat dinner and try again after dinner or whatever, So I even let them do that. Pause the game and turn off the TV. So, yeah, I just understood. My mom hated it too. Like, she hated that I let my kids play games. At one point, we went to a doctor, and she was telling me how bad my mom was telling me how bad it was that I let my son play video games. This is the 90s. This is the beginning of the video game era, right? Nintendo, Sega, all of them are coming out with consoles and things, and they're fighting against each other. And my son liked video games, and I played with him, and my husband played, and we all enjoyed them. My mom thought it was horrible. And we go to the doctor, and she thinks she's going to get the doctor to agree with her. So she's like, isn't it like bad for him to play video games? And the doctor goes, well, actually, no. It's really good for hand and eye coordination and cognitive reasoning and da-da-da-da-da. And he starts listing all and how he learned how to do specific operations and stuff by using video games. And I was like, oop, I guess you walked right into that one, Mom. And all my kids are really smart, and so I think that had a lot to do with me letting them play video games. I think you have to pick and choose wisely, obviously. I didn't want my kids when they were like 10 playing, Grand Theft Auto and stuff, but
Do you ever bring this up to your mom now?
remember. I'm sorry, what?
I said, do you ever bring this up to your mom now? Being like, see, my kids play video games. Look how they turned out.
No, she passed away in 2009, but she lived long enough to see my son go to MIT. So I think she knows how he turned out. I think she did. Actually, she never told me anything nice, or she would never really compliment me on anything, but she did tell my sister that she thought that I was an incredible mother, that she couldn't believe the patience that my sister and I both have with our children compared to her, that I had to live with them for a short time after I left my abusive husband, and my son was just, 1, and she told my sister she will sing to him for hours so he won't disturb us with his crying. And I did. I would sing to him for hours because I didn't want him to cry and disturb them while I was staying in their house. So she would have never done that. She would have let me scream and cry. She wouldn't have cared. She would have been like, no, I don't care. But all my kids turned out wonderful, and we still like to game together. My son games with his wife all the time. They have whatever that game is that I'm thinking of. I gotta look it up now. What is the really popular game where people join a forum, and it recently had an upgrade, and then you do teams, and you have to accomplish a certain goal as a team. Oh my God, I love the N64. By the way, with my youngest daughter, I helped her when she was in high school and until she moved out, do vintage game collecting. So she's got a couple of N64s, including a really cool orange one that we got off Facebook Marketplace. It is Fortnite. Okay, it is Fortnite. So you guys don't know what I'm talking about, where there's bases and you have to protect the bases or whatever. Well, my son and his wife play Fortnite, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's Overwatch. Oh, it's Overwatch. Okay, never mind. My daughter's correcting me. It's over. I love it that I have my door closed. Her door is closed and she can still hear me. That's how loud I am, you guys. Anyway, it's Overwatch. I'm wrong. It's not Fortnite. Have you guys played Overwatch? Either of you?
I've never played it.
Never even heard of it.
I was going to say really
you
fast.
You haven't heard of Overwatch?
I don't have a Switch. My brother does, so sometimes I play on his Switch when I'm hanging out with him. But they're making I don't know if you guys are fans of Animal Crossing or how big of fans you are, but they're making
I
a
love
Pokemon.
Animal Crossing.
They're making a Pokemon version of it called Pokopia.
Wait, are we talking about Frogger?
Frogger? No. Animal Crossing,
No.
you know what I'm talking about?
Is that
No, he
really
doesn't
across
know.
the street?
No, not the
I get
one with
what
the frog
you're
across
saying,
the street. I know what you're talking about, though.
That's hilarious.
That's a retro game.
No, Overwatch was on PC and it's on other like Xbox, PlayStation. I think it's on Switch now too, but I can't remember. Anyway, Overwatch is this game where you go in and you're on teams and it is a first person pew pew, and then but you like let's for instance like DC and I are on a team and then you're on a team, Robin, and our goal might be that we have to protect this thing, and your goal is to make that thing move, okay? And you have to get it so far or something like that. And we want to stop you from moving it, and your team wants to move it. And so that would be the mission
capture the
for
flag.
that particular. It is kind of like that, and it's in an arena, and they just did a big update on it or whatever. And anyway, so my son married a woman who did not play video games, but he did teach her this one, and this is like the only one she plays. So one day when I'm out there, she goes, like, you got to play this with us. And I do play video games, but I've never played this video game. And I don't know, do you guys know the story of Leroy Jenkins? Do you know that? Like if I say
Leroy Jenkins, yeah.
Was he a shaker?
So no, it's from a video game. It's from World of Warcraft. Anyway, I did a Leroy Jenkins. I just went in and just started shooting everywhere and anywhere, and they were cracking up laughing. And I was like, well, I don't know why you guys are laughing, because this is exactly what it looks like when you guys are playing it. But I guess they are actually using strategy, and I don't see it. It doesn't look like strategy when you're watching other people play, but supposedly they are, and I don't. I cannot comprehend Overwatch at all. It just, I'm not good at it, and I'm never going to be. Born Again says Battlefront is the best version of that. Do you play Overwatch? Did I just hear the spooned Trump World of Warcraft? What? The spooned Trump World of Warcraft? I don't know what that is, but if you're talking about Leroy Jenkins, you did just hear me say Leroy Jenkins. You guys, I'm going to be live for only 15 more minutes. If you have anything you want to say, spoonerism, I don't know what that means.
Sounds like what my dad was into.
Guest box is open. Probably. Okay, and while we're waiting, I could just play you another song. First of all, thank you to Leslie for sending me that little message over on the Discord. I love hearing that you guys sometimes are hearing some of my songs for the first time and that you're really enjoying them, because that means a lot to me. I know that people have their favorites and stuff, but when people listen to Abelina Ballerina, every single time they tell me, oh my God, that song hits, and you don't have to have lived through the experience to get it. I think I did a really good job in my storytelling in this one. I think that I channeled my inner Dolly and Reba to come up with a great song. So you guys, in honor of Boma being in my chat room. Okay, go ahead, ask me.
Was she abused by a pastor? Is that what the story's about?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It is part of the story. Mm-hmm. She's in this story. She is abused by a pastor, but she represents all the women in churches who have been abused by a pastor, or who have been told that when men sin, that it's their fault. But like sometimes we're told that, DC, before we even fucking know what they're talking about. Like they'll say, "Oh my God, put your skirt down. You don't want men to look up your skirt." We don't know why they're telling us that. We're like 3. You know what I'm saying? Do people not understand? It is gross. It's fucking gross. I remember one time when my toddler was running around my house naked. She was in my house. She's running around naked, and there was a reason she was running around naked. She had a diaper rash that was caused by by having a problem with a formula she was drinking. And one of the best ways to clear up a situation like that is to air it out. And so that was from a doctor. A doctor was like, just, she's potty training right now. She's going to let you know when she has to go to the bathroom anyway. So to help clear this up faster, if you don't need to put a diaper on, if you can put a towel under her when she sits on the couch or whatever right now. So she's in my house, running around naked in the privacy of my own home. And and a relative of mine came over. I'm not even going to say who it was because I'm not trying to shame anybody. But they were like, you should put clothes on your child. Like, why? Who is looking at my child inappropriately in my own house? It's not me and it's not my husband. Like, what are you talking about? She's 2. Less than 2. The fuck are you talking about? Your very thought into that is gross to me. Okay. And so the fact that women are treated like that since the time they're little girls in church over and over again, like you have no idea. And the message is so subtle sometimes, like, oh, button your little shirt up. What are you talking about? Right. And then for all of us, this isn't just for women, but how many of us are told everything good from us comes from God, and only the bad things in us comes, is from us. So we have to take on the shame and the guilt of all the bad, but anything good, we have to give glory to Him. Nothing good comes from us. So it talks about that in the song too. But here is Abelina Ballerina.
Abelina ballerina, spinning in her tutu. All the world's a stage, lacing up her ballet shoes. Abelina ballerina, they applaud as you dance. You're so precious, little angel. Dance away if you can. Abelina ballerina, wooden floor counting time. In the mirror she's a swan, arabesque in pink tights. Abelina ballerina, sitting still in a pew. Preacher says that light you feel doesn't really come from you. They tell her every step is borrowed, her plie heaven sent. And for every bow she's taken, she's got something to repent. Abelina ballerina, stand still, don't twirl. It's your fault if they're not holy, so be a good little girl. Abelina ballerina, preacher says, let us pray. Closes the door so no one hears, calls it a special game. He says this is guidance, says she's holy, full of grace. Claims God needs her silence, blessed are those that obey. Abelina ballerina, the light has left her eyes. She no longer hears the music and her steps are out of time. Abelina ballerina, remember how you twirled, who's to blame if they're not holy? You're still just a little girl. They say her name like a warning, obedience her only crime, while he preaches purity, taking them for every dime. Abelina ballerina learns what judgment cost, learns who gets forgiven and who pays the loss. Abelina ballerina learns to mother through the ache, learns that love can still be sacred even after what they take. She devours her education and her eyes begin to shine. Music pours out from within her and her steps which is truth they try to hide. She interrogates the God, she uncovers every lie. She shows why nothing ever changes, who the system benefits. Men of God who feed on power, abuse, shame, and the grift. Abelina, ballerina, show me how you twirl, spinning in the sunlight, dancing with your little girl. Abelina, ballerina, dancing center stage again. Abelina, ballerina, dancing barefoot in the sun. You're so precious, little angel, and your dance has just begun.
I hope as you listen to my music and you listen to my sermons, you notice one reoccurring theme. My music and my writing is always about reclamation. There are no victims. There's nobody who doesn't get to reclaim their power, their voice, their dance, okay? Abelina Ballerina is harmed, yes. But in the end, by educating herself, which is what Boma did and what so many of us do, she is able to take the center stage again and love her daughter the way that she knows love should be. And so it's the same in all my songs. They're about reclamation. They are not about sitting in that space. And the same with my sermons. These women had no voice. These women were erased. These women were often given no name, or if they were given a name, they were given one sentence to sum up their whole entire value. And that's why I'm decentering the men and bringing these women to the forefront and trying to give them a voice and help you find what you can see through these women, what you can learn for yourself and what you could take away so you can reclaim your voice that was taken away from you from this religion that you were indoctrinated into. This religion that lied to you and said that because you are a woman, you are not smart as a man. You can't be as strong as a man. You aren't loved by the God as deeply. You can't even reach the God without the man because there's a hierarchy. And I want you guys to be able to see that those were lies, and those were lies all told by men. And when we succumb to that, we succumb to the patriarchy. We don't have to. We don't have to do that. We hold the power. Like, that's crazy to me. We don't have to do this. It is time that all of us women say, fuck you and your God. Fuck you. Look at where we are in this world right now because men have run this world for the majority of its existence. Good morning, Nicholas.
Hey, TikTok's doing really weird shit today. Holy.
I know. It really is. I was like trying to bring you up, and then Bree, are you in the guest box? Because it said you were, and then I went to accept you, and then you were. I don't know if you accidentally joined and left, but it's doing really weird stuff.
Every live that I have gone into, I get a little notice at the top saying you'll be brought up when live hosts blah blah blah, and it's like auto requesting me in every live I'm going into. And as soon as you brought me up, my Bluetooth turned off and wouldn't turn back on, so I had to exit the app and restart everything. And when I went to reply to DC, it was having me type at the front of his name, not the end of his name. So something is going on with TikTok today. I give up.
I wonder if there was an update or something.
Well, I think just MAGA took over, and it's all kind of going to shit.
That's sad.
Well, yeah.
I was going to say, I had a weird issue while I was in this live earlier, too. So I requested... Actually, hold on. So first, I was in this live, and I got ejected from the app altogether. That's not specific to this live, necessarily, but that happened, and then I came back, and then I requested to join the panel. And then it scrolled me out of the live to the one that was directly below you. And I was like, I didn't scroll out of this, and then I had to scroll right back. It was weird.
That is really weird. I've had to do that scroll thing a lot lately to me. You guys, I am going to be ending the show, but before we do, and I think he's live right now anyway, so we'll go raid him and make sure when you go in there, and if I'm right and Joel is live and you go raid him, you're going to say Crystal is better than Joel. That's what we say. But before we do, since he is live and it is hump day and he never plays this on his show, I'm going to play it for you here. You guys, oh, he's not live? I thought I saw him go live earlier. Okay. But it is Wednesday, so he should be going live sometime today. And for you guys, here is the sexy version, the best version of his song, Hump Day. Okay, we will raid back.
I'm talking to you. Come here, big boy. I've got some news. Is that special day of the week? It's for the thirsty, not the meek. Hump day, hump day, diddly diddly hump day, hump day, diddly diddly dum. Who needs a book? Just toss it out. Joel came to cook, believers best watch out. I say, hump day, did I stutter? Hump day, smooth like butter, diddly diddly hump day. Shh, listen up. It's hump day, dump day, diddly diddly dump day. Tossing out the Bible like it's trash from Sunday. Genesis to Revelation, yeah, I'm done playing dumb. Hey, memorizing verses, that's a vapid skill, babe. Flipping through Leviticus, it's smelling like a sunset. Call it liberation, I'm about to make the jump. Hey. Hump day, dump day, diddly diddly dump day, hump day. I got the hump, diddly diddly dump day.
My songs are in my Discord, and like I said, I want you guys to join my Discord, be more active in my Discord. And if you don't find it in my songs, tell me, I'll put it in my songs. I sometimes forget to upload one or two of my songs, but that's where you find my songs, is on my Discord. Do you guys want me to do one more Joel and Mezzo song before we leave? We are rating Bash. Here is Star-Crossed Buddies. And when you do see Joel Mezzo tonight, you could still tell him that Crystal is better than Joel, because that's fun to say anyway, right? Here is Star-Crossed Buddies.
We're out of the country, somewhere we can't say. Beyond takes the calls, or so we claim. Mezzo's got his markers, you can guess why. Joel's at the piano humming spiritualize. They talk Amalekites and wet boxes too. They run the talk using philosophical kung fu. Mezzo just shrugs, then draws something lewd. They are the internet's BFFs, just doing what they do. We're star-crossed buddies, logic and rage. Fate threw us both on a podcast stage. ready for the penis game. Joel tickles the ivory musicality, singing out strong objective morality. They say they're streaming out in some land afar. Bjorn handles business from a Swedish bar. Joel hits a chord, Mezzo says pick a card, and somehow they're both TikTok rock stars. Bjorn says, boys, tone it down. We say, buddy, we're nobody's clowns. We're best friends forever. And we're hellbound. We're star-crossed buddies, brain and bite. Faith versus science in a fist bump fight. From LA sun to the northern lights, we ask the questions and joke out of spite. Yeah, star-crossed buddies, cosmic pals. We love facts and joke, bush-free gals. If doubts a sin, we're first-rate. Bjorn hit record, we're running late. I'm not a science guy. That's fine, I am. And I drew it to scale. You drew another dick, didn't you? For science.
I don't know why the voice is the same for both of them. But whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hi, Katie, love you. Go raid, bash, and tell CrystalJae raid. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time for Non-Believers Bible Study. Don't forget, the second episode of Auntie Sermons has dropped. It is everywhere except I think iTunes and Apple, and I'll fix that today. I will get that fixed. We had issues with Apple and couldn't get it up there, but we're gonna get that fixed. And so those are the things you should remember. I love you, Nicholas, DC, Robin. Thanks for coming up. Have a great day.